So you have found love in Ghana.
I have.
I've heard a lot of people finding love, a lot of sisters from the States.
Let me say this. I've met a lot of guys that I dealt with that might have been in a higher bracket, but they really weren't available. They were either working too much or they had other things going on.
So you starting to sound like Kevin Samuels now.
I don't want to sound like him. I don't want to sound like him.
Let's talk about dating in Ghana.
Let's talk about it.
So what has it been like? Now you've been here almost a year.
Almost a year now. It's been good. It's been really good. I met somebody. I did meet somebody actually 2 years ago when I came in 2019 for year of return.
All right.
He came back in the picture when I moved here. I was reaching out to people to try to help me find an apartment, and I knew I made a mistake by trying to look at apartments by myself.
Yes, that wasn't a move
at all.
No.
Okay. And while the number one thing that was the hardest part was that I don't know the local language. So when my agent was talking to other people, I don't know what they're saying. You know?
So they could have been saying,
anything.
We're about to get her right now.
Right, okay.
You tell her this price, you pay me a little extra, and you say 800 CDs a month, but it's really 400.
Right.
You give me 200, and we have a good deal.
And that's exactly what I felt like was going on. So after the first day of me meeting with my agent, I reached out to this guy and was like, hey. Actually, he reached out to me. He was like, can I take you out for ice cream? I was like, of course. But I would like you to come and look at apartments with me as well. And wherever my agent goes, you go too, because I need to find out what's going on. And from then, he's been around. He's been around ever since then.
So you have found love in Ghana.
I have.
I've heard a lot of people finding love, a lot of sisters from the States. At least 5 or 6 have found love.
Yeah.
In all age brackets. So what's break this down for me, because you can.
So I think it's 2 different things.
All right, school me on this.
There are so many single men here. There's a lot of single men here. And a lot of the times when men go and hang out, they're going in groups. So it's like 4 or 5 of them just hanging out, and they're all single with no kids, no wives. So I think that they're just available. They're more available.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Okay.
It makes perfect sense. Now, what I've heard is that perhaps the quality, economic, when I say that, I mean not character quality, but the economic capacity to be able to provide might be a challenge.
It is a challenge. It definitely is an adjustment. I think, it is. And I feel
you
like...
didn't see that question coming.
I mean, no, I didn't, but it's true.
I got her stuff for you.
It is, because, a lot of times you're going to make more money than you... I hate saying that.
Isn't that the case in the States, though?
That a woman makes more money than a man?
Yes.
I feel like I've met... The guys I've dated in the States, they were like either right where I was at.
Okay.
Well, no, because I feel like in the States, I don't know. Oh my goodness, this question is so, because it's so hard to answer this question. It's really hard to answer because.
Well, just answer it honestly from the heart.
Okay. In the States, let me say this: I've met a lot of guys that I dealt with that might have been in a higher bracket, but they really weren't available. They were either working too much or they had other things going on.
So you starting to sound like Kevin Samuels now.
I don't want to sound like him. I don't want to sound like him. But I'm like, I think it's...
Now, what a high value brothers over here.
Okay, well, they're probably at Sky Bar or at Kozo's, okay, if you want a high value. But a lot of them are married. A lot of them are already married. I think that when you're coming here, that you have to be in the mindset that you're looking for love.
That you're looking for love,
right.
Okay.
And so the financial situation, the culture differences, you have to also understand that's going to be an adjustment. right?
So what's some of the adjustments there?
I'm not domestic, okay?
Let me find out. I'm just coming with the questions.
Listen, I'm not domestic. That's never been me. My mom is a Liberian woman, and whenever she would make meals, it would be her in the kitchen. And I feel like my boyfriend, he was raised in a household where his mom was the cook, right?
So the cultural difference.
Yeah.
You're not the cook.
At all.
Okay.
You know? And with me coming here, I knew that I like to eat African food, but I don't know how to make African food.
So you can't get down with pounding the fufu and the...
No.
And the
I can make it in the microwave, you know,
okay.
but that's not what my boyfriend would want to eat.
Right.
You know what I mean? He wants me to pound it,
yeah,
you know? Yeah. So it's been hard with that, and what I've decided to do is I actually pay somebody to make my meals because I'm not doing it.
Because you can do that.
And I hate even saying that because... You know, people might look at me as me being lazy or not wanting, but that's just not how I am. And if I can afford it here, why not? Right?
This is good because it's helping, like, the broader African audience understand African American culture. But you are of Liberian, like you're Liberian, so it goes to show that where you grow up can influence a lot of different things. Even though you're Liberian,
right?
She grew up in America, and so that's what you. You know, and that has pluses and minuses. You know, so we're navigating this. That's why we're here.
Right.
So it's like, all right. So you.
So let me tell you something else.
Right.
What you mentioned. So the other thing I do feel like about the quality, you were talking about like finances. It definitely is going to be an adjustment if you know you're having to support somebody else. Which I'm not saying support like taking care of somebody else, but also being understanding that if we go on a date, we're not going to Sandbox. Because if I want him to pay for it, he's not going to be able to afford that. Because that's expensive.
So let's talk about that because that's real. Because I know a lot of sisters coming over, looking for love, or some other stuff.
Right.
Might not even be love.
Right.
But, you know, wanting to be able to have that connection. And they're used to being able to have a certain level of financial support. How do you think that's going to play out long term? Because, you know, it's fun at first. You know, everybody doing what they do.
Right.
And then
there can definitely be some challenges.
Once babies come, because babies are expensive no matter.
You're right. I think that's when it's going to be like their family is going to get more involved.
Okay.
Their family will help, you know, pick up where they're lacking, right? If you come down and you do end up finding somebody that is financially stable, you know, has money to go ahead and take care of you and doing things that you want to do, I don't know how long term it would be with them because 9 times out of 10, they're married.
Okay.
They have families. And it's an understanding between you and him.
Okay, rewind that for me.
Yeah.
That one flew over my head just now.
Yeah.
Okay. Say that again. You said...
If you do end up meeting somebody on a trip or online that is financially well off, where they have their own business or they're like, you know, a politician, a lot of those guys here in Ghana, politicians.
Okay.
They are well off, but they also have families. And they just want a girlfriend. They want a girlfriend that they can spoil.
All of that. And that's common here.
It's very common
in America, too.
You think it's common in America?
This is on the low.
And you know what? Maybe because I do feel like the guys here that are well off, their wives know what they're doing.
I've heard that.
And it's just kind of like, as long as they're taking care about the bills and things at home, do what you got to do. Because they got their boyfriends. You know, get it how you live.
See, all that. Okay, so they,
you know,
so that's the culture here.
I mean, I want to say everybody, but a lot of the times that's how it is. Like I actually, on my very first trip, I met a guy coming back. This is story time, y'all.
People gonna start traveling now. They're like, girl, I gotta get my passport.
Hey, you gotta get it. Okay, you should have already had it.
No, for the reason
Okay. Yeah, I met a guy on the airplane on the way back to the States. The very first time I came. It was a nice gentleman that was sitting like an aisle across from me. He kept looking back. I'm looking at him. We look at each other. Yeah. And in my mind, I'm like, I wonder. I can't see his ring finger. I'm like, I wonder if he's married. Got off the airplane. We landed. He asked to speak with me, just like this gentleman just did, you know. He didn't have no ring on his finger, so I didn't think to ask, you know.
Right.
The entire trip, he was in D.C., I was in D.C., and we spoke. We hung out the whole time.
This is getting interesting,
right?
This is getting interesting.
We hung out the whole time. And he was like, well, the next time you come to Ghana, which was December, right? It was like 2 months later. He was like, when you come, I'll take care of everything. Don't worry about it. I didn't know until hanging out with him that he was one of the ones that were well off, right?
With extra
money.
And extra
yes,
life.
But I didn't find out about that until I came back to Ghana.
Oh.
Right? He took care of our hotel or our Airbnb we were staying in. He got us a driver. He gave me a stipend. Like, it was like that, right?
So he was staying there too, or no?
No.
It was you and some friends.
Me and my friend. Mm-hmm.
And so he paid for all of that.
All of that.
What was he looking for in return?
He went, well, so when we first started talking, I knew he was interested. I knew that it could, in my head, I thought it could go somewhere because I was liking his company.
He was cool.
He was,
right.
You know. I knew that it could build, and that's what the idea was, is to continue to get to know each other to build. So I knew that on this trip, when I came back to Ghana, I was going to be at his home. So I was expecting, because he was at my home, you know what I mean? We're in America. So I knew that when I came to Ghana this time, we would go ahead and hang out, you know, take me places, show me more of Ghana, right? Well, one day,
oh my,
we went to Honeysuckle on Osu.
Oh, Honeysuckle on Osu.
He said, meet me there, right?
I got a story about them too, but go ahead.
I went, dressed really nice, really cute. I think I'm going on a date with my boo, you know?
Oh, God.
I met him and his wife there.
Oh. I could have. Well, at least he introduced you to him.
Listen. I mean, he was on. I mean, but I feel like he wasn't honest because he didn't say it from day one.
Right.
Right?
So he kind of led this. And then when you start spending money on people, that's normally. So what did she say?
She was open. She was okay with me being his girlfriend.
That was my next question. Because I thought she was going to hit you with like a menage.
No.
Oh,
It wasn't like that.
Okay.
And that's what I was thinking originally when I walked into it, like, oh, this is the polyamorous kind of information that I had been hearing about. And, you know, a lot of Africans, that's what people think, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's more of maybe religion here in Africa.
Yeah, because I know I went one place.
More religion, not like choice, right? Would you say that? I don't know.
It wasn't a choice because it depends on what the religion is.
Yeah.
But you can get multiple situations if you want to.
Right. And I think that it's something that happens here too, that, you know, if you get married to somebody, I don't know if there's really like a track record of it. You know what I mean?
Right, so you don't know.
Right.
Oh, my father would have loved it here.
Where you can just get married to multiple,
loved it.
and nobody's really checking any books
He
to
did
make
it
sure.
in America, so that's what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah.
Wasn't nobody checking no books.
See?
So.
Okay. But, you know, she was like, you know, you're beautiful. You know, I've heard all about you.
Wow. He went in like that.
And I'm just thrown off because I'm like, I didn't spend time with this man from months ago.
I think in your, coming from your world, you're not thinking this is about to turn into a situation.
Did not at all.
That's a cultural difference.
Exactly. And it was fine with her.
Now, some sisters don't mind that either.
And you know what? For a split second, I considered it.
It crossed your mind.
I definitely considered it because I was already living like a nice life with, with him. But at the end of the day, I've always was raised one man and one woman, you know, and that's what I want for myself.
Right.
I don't want to share with anybody. I'm very selfish. But I was just really surprised that a woman was really trying to tell me that it was okay.
That's very common. It's very common. That's a part of the cultural difference. Mm-hmm. It's a part of it because for some people it's a business arrangement and resource insecurity. So and this kind of goes back to the Kevin Samuels again. Well, I hate to be, you know, but he talks about the options.
Yeah.
And some people, it's like that he has money, so he can afford multiple.
He could afford it.
And then, depending on the type of person he hooks up with.
And I honestly think that was a conversation that he had with his wife before they got married. I feel like that was what it was.
Okay.
But it was like he was like a whole nother person to me when I saw him that day because he had 3 kids and a wife. I had no idea about.
And he said, "Hello, this is my wife, and she's cool with it."
And he thought I was gonna be cool with it.
But how many other situations do you think he has like that?
I don't know if he had. I don't know if I might have been the first.
Oh.
I feel like I could have been the first.
Okay.
Only reason why I'm saying that is I feel like he would have brought it up before bringing me into that situation.
I'm going to have a conversation with the men.
You should.
Because now this goes down a different road.
Yeah.
Because people wonder about relationships in Africa, in Ghana.
Yeah.
But I know several people who have come overlooking. I know people who have established relationships, seem to be successful right now.
Yeah.
But it seems to be a trend.
I agree with that. I agree with that. And me personally, I went to an HBCU. My family is Liberian.
So you Liberian, you HBCU.
You know,
did you pledge anything?
I didn't.
Okay. So I mean, but
I
you
didn't.
But you have the full American experience.
Exactly, right.
But you're still from Africa.
Right. But
Liberia.
I've always been attracted to foreign men.
Now, is that
Caribbean.
African? Okay.
Yeah, outside of the U.S. Okay. Caribbean, British.
Okay. Anybody.
African.
Right.
If they had an accent, they was my type.
That's what the accent did it.
I love an accent.
Got
okay.
it. Now the fellas in the chat going to start.
I'm taking. I'm so
comments,
sorry. I'm taking right now. I'm taking.
I have my accent. I'm from the UK.
I know.
I come.
And I think that's why I feel like it's been easy for me to adjust with the Ghanaians here and dating, because it's what I'm attracted to.
Okay.
But I also feel like Ghanaian men, African men, foreign men, their mannerisms on how they treat a woman, and I feel like it's a lot different than the States. I feel like they make sure you're okay.
The Ghanaian men.
I want to say Ghanaian, but I also want to say foreign men.
Foreign men in general.
Because I feel like I've traveled out of the country a lot, and I feel like it's just.
But I've heard the opposite.
What?
I've never dated a man to know.
Right.
So,
what have you heard?
I've heard that they can be controlling. I heard that they can be kind of dated in their ideologies and
those things are very true.
Okay,
it's very. I mean, yes, but I'm thinking more of like, have you eaten today? Can I get you? Yes, and I appreciate.
But they still want a woman to be here where you need to be.
Yeah, I feel like you have to find, if you're gonna be like that, because there's some women that are okay to be like, I want to be here. I want to be at the house because that's where my husband wants me to be, or my boyfriend wants me to be. Me personally, that ain't me. I'm very outspoken.
So how do you navigate it? Because
it's difficult.
Because I even saw like a clip on it was on Instagram. It came up on my reels, and a young lady was talking about how she's difficult to deal with. She's dealing with past trauma. She said, it starts off, life with me is going to be difficult because I'm dealing with past traumas. I stand up for myself now because of what happened. So basically, I'm out. I talk back. So how do you navigate all of that? With the cultural differences, it just sounds like it could be interesting.
It's hard. It really is hard, and that's one of the things that me and my boo deal with a lot, because I say what I feel, and sometimes I don't filter what I say. And I think that Ghanaian men are very timid and like to say to themselves. They're very conservative. Whenever there's an issue, regardless if we out in the public or at home, I'm going to say exactly what I want to say. And I'm straight to the point, cutthroat.
Oh boy.
And it doesn't go all over very well because it comes off being mean or disrespectful. And it's never like that. It's more of, I have an opinion from my perspective. From my perspective, But I'm not one to just be quiet. If there's something wrong, I'm going to let you know.
I understand.
And it's definitely hard. That's probably one of the things. That's one of the things we really struggle with is the communication.
So
and
what's the
understanding
difference between, or was that a challenge with the men in the U.S.?
I feel like at times, yeah. I think so.
Okay.
But I feel like it's an adjustment. We have to learn to work with each other. I am learning to try to be quiet a little bit more.
Did you give up on men in the U.S.?
No.
Okay, so just happen to have an attraction.
Exactly. Yeah. And I've dated American guys before, but like I said, I think it's mostly of the way that they care for women more.
Explain that.
Put you before themselves.
The foreign men.
The foreign men.
What do the American men do?
I would say they're more controlling, if anything. I would think American men are more controlling than Ghanaian.
And this is in general.
It's definitely in general. But going back to what you said about Jay, you over here just.
I
want me to be candid today.
I think I find my little niche here with interviews.
Dang, because I feel like it's really difficult because I hate saying things because I'm talking about my situation right now with my boo, right?
I got it.
I feel like if you're gonna say that he's being controlling, I would say more he worries too much about what other people think about us or how people perceive me, right? For instance, my shirt.
Okay.
Right? He would think it's low cut.
Okay.
He would like my shirt to be to my neck. Like
okay.
if you turn around, you'll see a lady there. Her shirt is
it's all the way up here.
Yeah. That ain't me. I don't think it's a big deal. I'm not showing too much, you know.
And culturally, it's
his culture, right? If we were going out together, he would not come out with me if I'm wearing something like this. He would want me to
cover up.
Exactly.
Because what is his religion?
He's Christian.
Okay.
He's Christian.
Okay.
He just is worried about what other people are going to think.
So they're going to think you're loose or something like that? Or too provocative?
Or the ankle bracelets.
Oh.
You know?
But they got the waist beads here.
Oh, don't even. What?
They sell the waist beads.
They do. But those things got to be covered up.
But you have tats too, so that might not even... See, that
the tattoos is a different story. These ain't getting covered up, okay? They ain't getting covered up. That's more... I mean... But I feel like he likes them because it's different, you know.
But as long as it's covered up.
No. He's okay with me showing them.
Okay.
He's okay with me showing them. I think it's more because of something different.
Got it.
With the ankle bracelet or showing waist beads, it has a different notation where it's like being
seductive or something.
Exactly, right? Or that you're available, right? I'm hot. That's what's going on. Okay, I don't want to be wearing all these clothes.
Define hot.
I'm hot. Temperature.
Okay, because.
You're right. We got to be straight, okay? You're right.
I got to make sure.
You're right. That's true.
Because the comments, people.
Oh, yeah, I know. She said hot. Yeah.
And some dude, she sure is. Mm-hmm. You just got to.
You're right.
You got to think ahead of people sometimes. So.
For sure. But, things
that.
like that.
Temperature-wise, you want to be comfortable.
I want to be
warm
comfortable.
Here
right.
all year
I
round.
like the shirt. You know, it has nothing to do with any of that. And I feel like I just wish he was more comfortable within our relationship and not really worried about what people think. Because I don't care what people think.
And that's a maturity, and when I say not immaturity thing, but sometimes a cultural maturity.
Yes.
On both sides.
Right.
To be able to say, hey, okay, you know what? Maybe at this event, let me be mindful of.
Right, and I am. And that's the compromise that I'm working on, you know. I know that if we're going out, I need to make sure that I am dressed appropriate in his perspective. Right. You know, I have to be like that. And it doesn't really bother me, but people will think it's controlling.
Understood.
You know, people will think it's controlling. Oh, he's changing the way that you dress. Not at all. I'm showing that I respect him.
And it's a cultural, and I think...
And I got to understand that.
And a lot of people aren't prepared for the cultural compromises.
They're not.
Because...
Right. And so that's why you have to be mindful. Like, you know, there's a lot of Ghanaians that have left and came back. So they're more open-minded to certain things.
Yes.
So if you're going to date somebody that's born and raised and been never outside of Ghana, you know, they're going to think a lot differently than people that have actually left and came back.
Right.
You know, but it's working. There are, like I said, we have our issues, you know, we're working through them, but...
What are some of the issues?
Kids is an issue.
All right. What about the kids?
You know, he's the only boy, and his mom wants him to have kids one day, you know?
Okay. Me
personally... I'm not pressed. I'm not. Children. You know, I'm really not pressed. I feel like I'm living a great life without them. I feel like kids are very expensive.
Oh, yeah.
And I am selfish. I want to spend the money on myself, you know?
That's being real.
You know, I'm not ready for somebody else to depend on me. I'm not ready for all that. And so when I say that, it makes him feel like, oh, she doesn't want any kids. How, you know, because in his culture, in his family, they expect it.
Right, they want many.
You know?
Many children.
That's always a conversation because I'm 30 now. People will think that I'm kind of beyond the time I should be having kids or I should be looking at having kids now.
I think you got some time.
I think so too.
Yeah,
okay.
Cause
you know.
I know folks well in their 40s still having them.
I know, right? That's what I'm
45, 46, 48 still having them. So
48?
Oh, yeah.
So I definitely got some time.
In their 50s, they still having them.
And I feel like there's no rush. I feel like I want to travel. There's so much to see. And I feel like A baby would just be another expense that
But
I'm
now
not
if you
ready
talk
for.
to Kevin Samuels, you're in the danger zone.
Well, I'm gonna be in the danger zone. Man. I'm gonna be in the danger zone.
I just had to. People been wanting me to address
Say
this on Kevin
something,
Samuels. So,
You know-
sending me clips all the time.
You know, maybe one day, we talked about this too, about, thinking about getting pregnant, but I think that I've always grown up thinking I wasn't gonna have any kids because of my like free spirit mentality of always moving around, not really settling somewhere. And I like the life of doing that. I don't feel like I can do that with a child though. But I can say that with me moving here to Ghana and meeting this guy, coming back in my life again, I've considered it more.
Okay.
And I think I'm more considering it because I know that he wants it. And I know that it's something that his family will want. And I know that that's something I have to really consider. Like, if I really want to be with him long term,
right.
I have to make the decision, like, am I willing to say, okay? Or is he willing to say, it's okay, we'll do it when we're ready? And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. So, but that's, again, the culture, It's
This is a real conversation.
It is.
I mean, this is not... Because a lot of times people want you to have these politically correct, watered down, safe conversations.
Yeah.
And then they don't understand the dynamics, so they romanticize things in their mind. Ooh, I'm going to Ghana, girl. Where you? We got December coming up, and
Right.
They got a whole rack of Ghanaian men over there.
And they do. They do.
Now, sisters got game too, though.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know some sisters who got so much game, they'll come because they know they have money and try to control the Ghanaian men. Because
They do that.
basically, because if he's looking for resources,
You're looking for opportunities,
he's looking for resources, and I'll hear a lot of times, you better watch those men because they're trying to get a visa. I say, I know some sisters that got some game too, because they're looking for what they're looking for.
Citizenship,
Or
passports.
Well, that's the business side.
Yeah, or there's women like there's nail salons that I've been to where they're Ghanaian, right? There's a Ghanaian owned business, but they're boo in the States, are paying for that establishment.
Oh yeah, and both sides. Where the lady is in the States.
Yep. Yeah.
Funding the situation over here.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's the dynamics, y'all.
Whatever works for you at this point. That's how I feel.
But what I've realized is that when it comes to, oftentimes in relationships, it's just as much a business decision as it is an emotional decision. For some people.
Yeah.
Depending on where they are.
Yeah.
But folks don't want to talk about it.
Well, let me ask you this. When did you realize that? Because as I'm getting older, I feel like, am I going to be getting married one day for love or for an opportunity? You know what I mean? Or a business. Is it going to be a business?
Well, I think as you get to a certain... After you've been through enough bad relationships that did not produce anything worthwhile, your mind starts shifting to, okay, what is this relationship going to be? And you start thinking about if you're going to be with someone you can build something with, or is this just going to be... Because I know early on, I got you by a few years. I got you by a few years here. But early on, I never considered the financial aspect of it. So I was like, hey, let's go out and have a good time and everything. But then, I think probably when I got to around 23, I was like, now what am I going to do here? What do I want to build? What do I want? Where do I want my life to be? So I think most people, once they hit 25, start thinking, well, definitely by the time they hit 30.
Yeah, for sure. Because now I'm dating with intentions.
Yeah, I was going to say 30 by the time you hit about 27-ish, people start thinking, because nobody wants to be broke, nobody wants to... So if you're going to connect with someone, you start thinking in terms of, how do I connect with someone who's going to bring something to the table? Now, sometimes it's emotional. Sometimes people only need emotional. Sometimes people just want physical.
Exactly.
Because, a lot of guys, she could be brain just like gone.
Yeah.
But if she fine, then he's going to be like, hey, you got his arm piece?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, you have options here, but you got to think about what you're coming here to do. If you're coming here just for like a fling for, December, that's fine too. But if you're moving here, you have to think about, okay, the guy you meet might not be financially there with you, but is he providing in other ways? Because that's another thing with my guy. I feel like I love having him around because he's Ghanaian. He knows the culture.
He knows it.
He knows that if I need to go somewhere or take the Trotro, how to get there, he knows how to do it. He
He's
knows
the
how
resource.
to negotiate. Exactly.
He's the resource.
He's my protector.
Got
Okay,
it.
when we go out, nobody messes with me because he is. You know what I
He
mean?
can step in and he
exactly.
can say, hey.
And I love that about him. Now he might not be the best financially, but
his
he
resource.
steps in other ways. Like he's able to provide for me in other ways, and
that's a resource.
appreciate it. Exactly. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. There's a trade off because
Yeah.
sometimes people's capital. I know a lady from the Netherlands. She might even watch this one day, but she might not have a dime, but she somehow manages to know everyone and to get everything for free. I said, well, you might not have any money, but you know how to work this out.
She don't need it, right?
She doesn't need it. So it just depends on, again, wherever that resource is and what each person is looking for. So I think you've shed a lot of light.
Yeah. Before we move.
Go ahead.
Before we move
Yeah,
to
go
the
ahead.
next one, I want to talk about getting called back. You know, the president
yes.
calling us back.